Greetings to Madam Sivagami Jayaraman. My name is Nur Aziza binti Arif. As the representative of this group, today we'll be presenting our final work for the assignment of language variety under the subject of Introduction to Sociolinguistic. As for my group members, I have Nur Yasmin Maisara, Nurul Wahida, Wan Maisara Afrina, and Nur Huaina. And we'll be moving on to the introductions of this assignment. Alright, so for the introduction part, I'll be explaining based on the language variety, the languages spoken in Malaysia, and what is the article that we have choose. Alright, so language variety is specifically being determined as a form of language or the patterns of human speech. A set of linguistic form we choose under the specific social circumstances is what define the meaning of variety in the sociolinguistic. This is based on the sound produced, the words pronunciations, or even the grammatical features. So this shows on how important it is the relationship between the society and the language in order for a better understanding of the structure of the language and how it works in daily communication. Malaysia is very well known for the incredible various contributed to the diversity of races, religion, and ethnicities, where each of the people are generally would protect the culture custom from the ancestors. As a result, this is contributes the Malaysian society accommodate with the rich varieties of language spoken. The official language that we have in Malaysia is Malay language, as this has also been prescribed in the Malaysia's federal constitution. And the use of this language is not only spoken by the native speakers of Malay, but also being spoken by the other communities such as Indian and Chinese as well. And in the worldwide language, the country of Malaysia also has its own sets of language varieties or specified as dialect. Even if the Malay society are the native speaker of Malay language, but when it comes to dialect, it could be variety as it depends on where they are from and grown up. The most obvious dialect could be identified from those who live in Kelantan, Penang, Terengganu, Kedah, and Perlis, where the speech sound produced in any of these states is nothing similar to the former Malay. Even people of East Malaysia, which from Sabah, Sarawak, and Labuan, also contributes to the variability existent in language spoken. So after a few discussion and brainstorming session, we have decided to explore in depth about the Melayu-Sarawak language, which is very popular to be used from the people who live in Kuching, Sarawak. We discovered a lot of historical and interesting information supported by the article titled Social Operations of Malay Language in Kuching, Sarawak, which was published in 2009.
Hi, I'm listening to Madam Seva. I'm Melayu-Sarawak Yusuf, and I'll be presenting about the discussion of our assignment. So other Malaysian states are anthropologically simpler than Sarawak because there are around 30 ethnic groups in Sarawak and each of them are complex. Although Bahasa Melayu is used by the administration of government, but it is rarely used by Sarawakians' everyday language. Sarawak Malay language is the most common language for people of Sarawak Malay tribes and other indigenous groups. Sarawak is a vibrant melting pot of ethnicities, although Bahasa Melayu is their main speech in Sarawak, but Sarawak Malay stops with an unintelligible dialect. For example, in vocabulary aspect, chicken in Bahasa Melayu is ayam, but in Sarawak Malay language it is manok. And the other one is eat. In Bahasa Melayu is makan, meanwhile in Sarawak Malay language it is majong. It is obviously a Bahasa Melayu even if it has taken a distinctive change in its current form. Despite the diversity of variety language spoken, interpersonal communication is rarely a negative impact because everyone speaks Bahasa Melayu Fasa, which is a sort of dialect that acts as Sarawak's lingua franca. Bahasa Melayu is commonly spoken on a daily basis, despite its status as the Malaysian language. So, administrative language of Malaysia is Bahasa Melayu that is a fairly organized form of self-expression that is significantly different from fast-paced Bahasa Melayu Bahasa that everyone speaks. Iban is also used as a speech among ethnics of various nationalities. So Iban language is widely spoken as a native language of Sarawak, with 24% of them, including non-Ibans. Even yet, there are slight variants in Sarawakian Iban, including minor changes in pronunciation patterns. Sarawak Bidayu language is spoken by around 10% of them. However, there are around 5 unique dialects. Because Bahasa Melayu is such a frequent speech among Bidayu, it is not rare to see two Bidayu from Sarawak conversing in it. Sarawakians also mostly speak British English, although because to expand influence of the entertainment sector, American English is also progressively becoming more common. Regardless of the complexity of the linguistic context, the greatest miracle Sarawakian interpersonal communication is the mutual respect shared by so many people speaking so many languages.
Greeting Miss Eva, my name is Maisara and I will explain about our article review for this article. So moving to the next slide. So, according to Crystal 1987, language seems to be the most commonly recognized sign of the establishing nationhood, and it is regarded as the main external evidence of the group identification. So, Malaysia national and official language, which is Malay, fulfills the stated function, and in the process of the regional diversity, the Malay language serves as a bridge between both the population of the Malay Peninsula and the Borneo states of Sabah and Sarawak. So, on the September 1, 1967, the Malay language has been adopted as Malaysia national and official language for the Malay Peninsula 1973 for Sabah and 1985 for Sarawak, stated by Awang 1993. So, previously, English served as a nation's national and official language. So, an article that entitled Social Variation of Malay Language in Kuching, Sarawak, Malaysia, a study on accent, identity and integration, published by Idris Aman and Rosniah Mustafa at UKM Sabah. So, according to the author, the geographical or social aspect of language variety is presented in support of such a statement. This research examined the social diversity of the Malay language spoken in Kuching, Sarawak, Malaysia, with an emphasis on accents. So, Kuching's Malay all had their own accents, distinct from the other Malay accents or the mainstream national dialect as a member of the Malay Language Society. So, the status of national standard and non-standard accents among the Malay informants in the city of Kuching is investigated in this article. So, as the result, the argument is focused on the sociological study of urban dialectology. So, to simplify these things, the purpose of this study is to investigate accent discrepancies, standard or non-standard, of the 5 Malay language phonological variables in 4 formal speech styles employed by native Malay speakers in Kuching, Sarawak, Malaysia. So, it is centered on the island of Borneo. So, the study takes into account 3 social situational factors, which is the respondent's socioeconomic level, gender, and different ages. So, the employment of the national standard accents versus the non-standard accents will be connected to the identification and integration concept. So, moreover, based on this analysis as well as the formal setting of the accents employed by in the Kuching, Sarawak, the study comes to the following findings, which is when the interacting in the formal setting, respondents in the study are accommodating to the national standard accents. So, as a result, among the respondents in Kuching, there is a strong desire for national identification and unity. So, this is shown by the SES-based informant cluster, all age group, and male respondents, particularly for I and R phonological factors, which are often utilized in the standard accents. Then, when the informants employ phonological variable A and R as a non-standard accents in the terms of gender, age, and socioeconomic status, local identity became more obvious. So, despite this, there appears to be shift toward standard accent in the cases of sex, age, particularly the teenager age cluster and socioeconomic status. Thus, despite being located even in a country administrative division and separated by sea, The Malay informal in Kuching Sarawak display a good degree of standard national accent used in a formal setting. So this finding is supported by the male social variable responded from the higher SES cluster and responded from the fairly young age group who may be more aware of their national accents. So these findings show that in formal settings, speakers tend to adapt their accents to the national accent in order to express their national identification and assimilation. So moving on to the next presenter.
Greetings, Miss. My name is Nurul Wahida. As for my part, I'll be explaining our point of view based on our opinion based on the article that we chose. To begin, I would like to say that language is such a powerful concept. Why do I say so? Well, it's because language has the ability to shape one's personal identity. And one of the major elements of language that initiates the development of self-identity would be the dialect. But what does dialect, language or accent have relation with identity? Well, I'll give you an example from Sarawak dialect since we are doing a Malay Sarawak dialect. So Sarawak is one of the states in Malaysia who has very strong accent. When they are speaking with each other using Bahasa Melayu-Sarawak, for non-Sarawakian, it's hard for us to understand the conversation because of the huge differences in the words or sentences. So most people who are from Sarawak, when they try to converse or speak in standard Bahasa Melayu, we will sometimes hear the accent, or as we call it, the Sarawak accent. So we can immediately know, or some people can guess that they are from Sarawak. This is what I'm trying to explain, that dialects can shape one's identity. People would know where we come from, and we present ourselves based on our dialects or accents. Furthermore, Malaysia has varieties of dialects according to each state. And this brings to the second point, which is the dialect implies Malaysian identity, which distinguishes it from Malay speakers in other nations like Singapore, Brunei, and Indonesia. Well, it is very important for us as Malaysians to acknowledge the uniqueness and the diversity of dialects in Malaysia, as this is the reason why Malaysian is well known for. And we should not be ashamed of our accent or dialects because, as I mentioned before, it shapes our identity. It's crucial to have our own identity and to embrace where we come from and who we are as a person. That is all for my part. I'll be passing to the next presenter for the conclusion. Thank you.
Hi, Ms. Seva. Good evening. My name is Nur Huwaira, and today I'm going to conclude this presentation of this article review. So throughout this project, we have learned that language dialects has played a vital role in Malaysia, and especially in Sarawak, because in Sarawak, we have different ethnics, precisely 27 ethnics in Sarawak. And also mentioned by the previous presenter, there are also a group of elite Western that use English language as on their daily basis. So I would like to stress that the study of social and linguistic diversity like this subject has allowed us to have a better understanding on how human and communicate to each other. And different dialects also recreates harmonies as we can learn each other's language regardless of cultural environment in Sarawak. And also the diversity and can also be created, and the mutual respect is still be held by so many people like mentioned by the previous presenter. So I think that's all from my group. Thank you.